Hi, Coach. Coming off a big win at Nicholls, and I guess you'd say it doesn't get any bigger than this tomorrow at HBU with life still on the line for the conference tournament. Just your thoughts heading into that game and the win over Nicholls as well.
Obviously, I'm really excited about how we played at Nicholls. I thought we really made some great adjustments at halftime. I think this group, we've had a couple of different groups as the years went on because of injuries and such. But this group, I think, is really kind of starting to find its footing. I thought we defended pretty well in the second half, which was able to get us out in transition. And then we were able to I thought, was really efficient offensively. We were able to execute coming down the stretch, made free throws. So it was a great win for us. So now, obviously got another big one coming up tomorrow night at HBU. And they're a talented group. They're so explosive offensively. They're first in our league. They average 80 points a game. They're never out of a basketball game. They were down, 20, 25 against Sam Houston with about 5 minutes to go and ended up taking it overtime. So they're a very, very explosive offensive group. We're going to have to really try to control tempo. We got to take care of the basketball, and we have to play to our strengths and play to our tempo.
You know about they lead the league in scoring 80 points a game, but yourself, I think 6 games. I went and looked. 6 games, you scored 80 or more, and you're 6-0. So,
yeah.
Would you like a high-scoring game?
Well, as much as the points are important. I mean, just the ability to be efficient. I'm a big analytics numbers guy, so points per possession is something that we really value. And so if we just continue to get quality shots, take quality shots, make quality shots. Then we'll have a chance to win. And then obviously we have to do a really good job with them defensively. We have to try to figure out a way to slow them down. They're an explosive group. They got 4 guys on the floor that at all times that can put it on the floor. They get to the free throw line a ton, put a lot of pressure on the rim. They beat Northwestern State by 40 couple at their place. So they're very, very explosive, like I said, explosive offensive group. We're going to have to play extremely well.
Obviously Shamarcus has really been counted on a lot, but Trey Johnson, he's another one. I think I went through and looked. His first 12 games, he averaged about 5 minutes a game. His last 5, he's averaging 25 minutes a game. Just talk about his what he's done for the team the last 5 games.
I think Sleepy's just stepped up, and especially when Roydell went down. We needed obviously someone else to step up and take those minutes. And here's a freshman walk-on that he's just gotten better every day. And I'm not surprised in the sense of if he's had the right mentality all along. He's all about team. He's all about development. He's all about the process. I talked to him about the process of his development and the team's development from the first time he came on campus, and he's really bought into that. And he's a big factor for us because he can defend multiple positions, and he's a guy that has a high basketball IQ, and I mean we're counting on him a lot. Here's a freshman walk-on that is playing 25 minutes a game, but our mentality's always been in this program since I've been here is next man up, and it's all about the process, and it's the next day, and he's really bought into that, and I think that's why he's having the success that he's having.
And last one for me, I know you haven't been there yet, but HBU's gym, it's a pretty intimate setting, smaller than Nicholls. Does a venue like that have any kind of effect on how you play?
I think anytime you go play on the road, it's always hard. Every venue has a different feel to it. I've obviously seen HBU's venue, on film a lot. Sam Houston struggled there. Stephen F. really struggled there. I mean, it's a tough place to play, and and we're both fighting for seeding and both fighting to try to advance into postseason play, and so we're expecting obviously an unbelievable tough game and in a very tough environment.
When I know you don't want to look into the offseason, into next season yet, but when you see what the guys on the bench are doing, guys that weren't really playing much early in the season, does it kind of excite you seeing the type of depth that you're kind of building almost by necessity?
For sure. I mean, I've said this after we win games, Dave, and I've said it after we lose games. I'm a process-oriented guy, and you can start to see, and I can start to see, the foundation that we've laid, start to take effect. And, you see a guy like Trey Johnson, like Sleepy, and, coming in, and Will Robinson being able to step up into a role now when he was really struggling early in the year. And look at the growth of Shamarcus. Obviously the growth of Roydell before he got hurt. And, so there's a lot of positives that have been happening in the last couple months of this program. And I'm really excited about it. Obviously, we got a lot of work to do, right now, and our focus is today and then tomorrow. But for sure, but that's what I believe happens when you're process oriented. You understand the process, you understand each step, and when you do that and you keep doing the right things, day to day, they usually work out and they usually build upon themselves, and I think that's what's happening.
You've talked about the process all year. What would it mean for the process to make the tournament and to get your kids after this year into that kind of a setting for the future?
I think it'd be a huge step, especially with with where we're at right now with 7 healthy scholarship players, and coming out and really a lot of times not having guys to practice. In this group, I'm really proud of this group right here because they haven't quit. They won't quit, and neither will me or my staff. We're going to fight until the end. That's who we are. That's the type of program we're building. But for this group, to get into that tournament and figure out how to, make some noise in that thing, and because you never know. I mean, I said it before when I was in the OVC, we won the OVC West, and we were the number 2 seed, and Belmont was the 1st seed, and Austin Peay had to win 2 games the last week to get into the OVC tournament. Well, they won their 2 games, and they win the 1st round, they win the 2nd round, and all of a sudden they beat Belmont, and we're getting ready to play Austin Peay for the championship to go to the NCAA tournament. And we swept them for 2 years. We were 4-0, and they caught fire and they caught rhythm right away, or at the right time, and they went to the NCAA tournament. So anything can happen. You just got to continue to work every day. You got to continue to put yourselves in the best position possible, and that's what we've tried to do all year.
What's the mood like with coaches, the locker room? Because a season like this could really wear a team down, but it seems like you guys have just kind of fought back at it.
Well, sure. Well, my waistline is really taking effect. But the thing is that as the head coach, I think that my most important job is to communicate the vision and the steps of building this program and building this team. And we've talked about all year, where we're trying to go and focused on the now and today, and trying to get better today, and don't let yesterday affect today. And just continue to talk about the process of growing as players and growing as a program, and on the floor, off the floor, in the classroom, all 3 of those areas. And I think we've done a really good job of that. But I think it comes back to, David, honestly, just trying to focus on the immediate task at hand, but also trying to make decisions for the long term as well.
Going back to Nicholls, you're down by 10.5. You score 58 points in the second half. What was the message at halftime? I don't need the exact message, but what was
I just told them that I really challenged our group, and I just said we're better than this, and we got to step up and make plays, and enough of all the other stuff. We're getting the shots we need. We got to step up and make plays, and we're better than this. We're good players, and I really challenged them defensively. I challenged them to be able to try to obviously get Shamarcus the ball in the post, but play with confidence. And I think that the seniors at that point I thought really rallied. And to a point, at a level that I haven't seen all year, which was really great. I'm talking importantly James and Jaron. I thought those guys really stepped up and played well. And but really, it was just about okay, we're going to try to simplify the game plan a little bit. We're going to try to get Shamarcus on the move and play through him, and then being able to step up and knock down plays. I thought we controlled the game and the tempo in the second half. When we had something early, we took it. If not, you know, we really pulled it out and we executed, you know, certain packages with who they were playing and how they were guarding things, and we were in a really good rhythm.
Is that pretty much the same plan for, you know, controlling the tempo and just simplifying everything?
For sure. You know, I think that, you know, the biggest thing for us, and we've talked about this, you know, for the last, you know, 2 or 3 weeks, is that, you know, we have to really control the tempo, and we obviously have to push it and get open shots when we can get it. But, you know, with our depth or lack thereof right now, we have to grind people out. And, you know, and I'm perfectly fine with that. You know, I mean, I'm very comfortable with it. And it's like our guy, and I think our team understands this too. By having that mentality doesn't mean you're not scoring. It means you're just, again, you try to become really efficient, and as a staff and as a coach, really trying to control more possessions in the second half at Nicholls than we did in the first half, and I thought that was really beneficial.